It's no secret that Donald Trump is having a bit of a cash problem right now, both personally and politically. He is facing over $500 million in judgments against him that he really only has a couple days left to pay at this point. And on top of that, he has basically exhausted his legal, his super PAC money paying his legal fees. So, as we all know, he wants his daughter-in-law, Laura Trump, to take over at the RNC, and Laura Trump has made it abundantly clear in multiple interviews that she thinks the RNC should in fact pay Donald Trump's legal fees. Not his judgments against him, of course. That would be totally illegal. Just his lawyer fees, right? The RNC had done that at one point, but they had to stop towards the end of the year 2022, and I'll get more to that in a moment. But the RNC, actually a member of the RNC, put forth a resolution this week on Tuesday to bar the organization that only has $8.7 million cash on hand from paying any of Trump's legal fees. And that resolution failed. And it turns out, according to reports, most members of the RNC, most of the voting members of the Republican National Committee, are actually okay with the organization paying Donald Trump's legal fees, even though, much like Trump himself, as I said, they don't have any money either. But they're willing to use what little money they have to pay his legal fees, like they had been prior to November 2022. So what happened in November 2022, right? The RNC was paying his legal fees and there was no problem with it, but then suddenly they stopped. And do you know why they stopped? They stopped because Donald Trump became an official candidate under the Republican Party banner. He announced he was running for president, I believe it was November 15th of 2022. And at that point, if the RNC had continued to pay his legal fees, that would have been illegal. Just like they can't pay his judgments against him once he is officially a declared candidate running for their party, they're legally barred under the Citizens United ruling from the conservative Supreme Court in 2010. They're barred from paying his legal fees. So this resolution that was put forward this week shouldn't have even been a thing, because the thing they were trying to ban is literally under the law already banned. However, a majority of RNC members say, let's still do it. Laura Trump, who is about to become the co-chair of the Republican Party, says, let's do it. Let's use our pathetic little $8 million to pay this alleged billionaire's legal fees. Do none of these people know that that's illegal? Really, listen to this. Under the Supreme Court's 2010 Citizens United ruling, parties cannot use money they raised from corporations or labor unions to pay the legal bills of declared candidates. So once Trump launched his campaign to return to the White House, the RNC stopped paying his lawyers' fees. Ronna McDaniel at the time even said, we cannot pay legal bills for any candidate that's announced. And yet here today, now that Ronna McDaniel's leaving, today is actually her last day, they're like, let's just do it. Please do it. I am 100% in favor of this. I think the RNC should do this. What's the worst that could happen, right? Other than you get sued and you have to pay all of that money that you've raised, the little bit of it that you've raised, in legal fees. So you're going to bankrupt yourself even more trying to protect this guy from going bankrupt by breaking the law. So yeah, that seems like a real smart decision. We've definitely got the top minds at work over at the RNC, and they're willing to break the law just so Donald Trump doesn't have to come off a few more dollars to pay his own lawyers.